It's Dr. V and me, Dr. V, Joe Talks, just an American citizen. Mark, thanks. Thank you for waiting. We just came on. We're getting stuff together. We had to make sure Dr. V had to get his hair in shape. He's been working it. We don't talk about clothing. He had to make sure his hair was okay. He was feeling good, but he's mad because I was giving him trouble because last night I told him John Jones easy on a KO, and he played around with it. I think he put $1 on it. Thank you. So we did great. Can't even get a McDonald's meal deal with $1 anymore. It's like you're finished.
You said
either way, we're coming. We're coming on. We're gonna. It's a really crazy time out there right now. We're watching the election's over, and it's very interesting watching. I see MSNBC's numbers are down by 50%. CNN, I think, was down by 30%. Of course, Fox is up a little. We watch them all. And it's just so interesting. On Fox, they're still gloating. Everything's the greatest. On MSNBC, people are still crying, going, hey. And then on CNN, it's like they're trying to play both sides, but you can't. You just got to go for it because this is where you got to go. And Spartacus, we love you. And this is where I love Spartacus, one of the community. And so, but now we have to start seeing where are we going from here. So what Trump did was he did what we expected Trump to do. He's just throwing it against the wall. He says, I won big, and he's going to put his people into the cabinet. Now, right on, you're a winner. We accept him as president. He is the president. He will be the president of the United States. So he's acting it right now. He's got his boy Elon Musk out there talking to Iran and Ukraine, and he's doing all this. But let's look at some of his cabinet picks. I like Marco Rubio as a Secretary of State. Yeah. Very experienced. I don't agree with everything he does. He used to be a Ukraine supporter, not Ukraine, anti-Russia. I'm not sure where he is there, but I like Marco Rubio. And he knows what he's talking about, and he's strong on defense. And the Secretary of State's got to be Z. And it's got to be, go ahead and debate, Z. We love you. So we like Marco Rubio. I think he'll be a good Secretary of State if they listen to him as we go through some of these. But now we got to get to, I had to get the good one out of the way. There's Radcliffe's okay. What's his name on Interior is pretty good. Wasn't he the governor of South Dakota? What's his name? What was his name? I'm sorry. I have it here, in fact. I'm like going, Doug Burgum. I'm sorry. I always remember the hair. Yeah. Doug Burgum. He'll be excellent in his Interior, I think. So you have some good picks. Z, I let him talk sometimes. The way we do it, Z, is as we go on, I'll let Dr. V talk, and then I'll be in the background talking to the comments, going thumbs up, down, giving people whatever, and Dr. V will take control, and then we move back and forth. But Dr. V always says to me, it's been 53 years. It's like I lead when we dance. That's what he likes me to do. You lead, Freedy. I dance with you. And then
I'm the shy one.
He's the shy one. He's the shy one. Okay. So that's where we are there. So now they're good. Doug Burgum and these guys, I got to give Trump credit for these. But what he's trying to do is just destroy things. And the question is, thank you for the thumbs up. We need more. Please give us thumbs up. Please subscribe. Just American Citizen, Dr. V. Joe Talks, and tell him we want more videos on there, Dr. V. You don't have enough videos either way as we go on. As we go on with this, now we start talking about, thank you. Now we start talking about where the problems are. Matt Gaetz, he's number one, Attorney General. Now look, this is how I laid it out to some people, my friends who are real Trumpers, really into it. If you got picked up speeding, would you want Matt Gaetz representing you in traffic court now? If you're in his daddy's town, because I understand his father's heavily involved in politics, there's a lot of money, I go, yeah, I'd pick Gaetz to be my lawyer there. But would you want him to represent you? There's no way. And the attorney general, this guy won't represent you in traffic court. You'll be found guilty. Man, guilty. Shorty Long. Remember that? Here comes the judge. Man, guilty. That's what would happen if you were sitting next to Gaetz. And you go, Why would you pick him to be the number one lawyer, justice lawyer in America? This guy who couldn't represent you if you got picked up speeding. And you say it makes you wonder, what are you thinking about? If you got a guy who doesn't know anything, he knows a little, knows how to yell and scream, knows how to get people to dislike him. I'm convinced that Trump's putting them up, prepared to let him go, prepared to say, I'll let him go. He's got a backup already with it. And then let his other guys get through, who we're going to be talking about after this, like Tulsi Gabbard, who Russia celebrated her appointment or her nomination for everything. Russia celebrated it. Wow, she's a director of national intelligence, and Russia celebrated it, Dr. V. What am I missing? So, Masilla, we love you. So here we go with that. But we'll go for, we got Gates. So I think he's willing to give Gates up. And that's why Gates is out there. Gates has some other issues. He had the ethics investigation in Congress, in the House. Now, 2 days before he quits. So the ethics investigation report disappears. And now the speaker, his right hand, Trump's kiss took us, is saying, no way, we're not going to put it out there. Yet it's been put out there. And two other congressmen, Dr. V, who lost, who I think one was a senator and one was a congressman, they had their reports put out after they left, because that's what you do. And if this guy is going to be running, if this guy's going to be coming to run the attorney general's office, we should know exactly what it says. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, I mean, is the Senate still in the business of advising and consenting? Do we still have a checks and balances in our government? The Senate should be able to have all the data available to make an intelligent decision whether to approve these nominations. And we'll see if the Republican Party is still a party or it's just another arm of Donald Trump.
Well, let me tell you, when you talk about the recess appointments, and we're going to get to that, I have that as a separate thing, but keep this in mind, we're going to get to it. Recess appointments equals loss of the filibuster. The
Right.
Republicans always say they don't want to lose the filibuster. They're fighting it. The Democrats want to get rid of it. The filibuster, so you all know, is votes that requires 60 votes or more. Right now, the Republicans will have 53, so they don't have enough. So there could be a filibuster. But they don't want to get rid of the filibuster. They love the filibuster. What they want to do is a recess appointment where basically they all go on vacation. Like, they're not on vacation most of the time. Anytime, Dr. V, they're spending their time trading stocks. They're taking the money. They're living on our health care. They're going on the trips around the world to see what's going on. But then they'll disappear so Trump can then pick who he wants and put him in for up to 2 years. That's like a filibuster, like having a filibuster. It's like ignoring the filibuster, because here, if you get rid of the filibuster, then the next president can do whatever he or she wants to do if they're a Democrat. It doesn't make sense. And at the same time, it gets to your point, and we're going to get back to it, checks and balances. I mean, are you a senator or what? What are you? If you're not going to be willing, let's stick with this, because I like this point, okay? What's up, mustache? My hair's still happening. The color's still there. Not much hair. Stash is there. Real color. Dr. V's happening, and we're all happening. And we love you, Messenger. Thank you for coming on. So when you look at this, you go, so why would you be a senator if you're not willing to vet or check into the background of nominees? Isn't that your job? Then why run for senator? You have these rich guys, these multi-millionaire guys, Dr. V, who ran and took all these Senate seats. And then what are they going to do? They're just going to go back to their second homes, live there while they're away for 10 or 15 days, don't get any work done because they don't need income. They're just clipping their bonds, aren't they? All these rich guys in the Senate who don't want to work. And they'll say, Mr. Trump, do what you want to do. Why be a senator, Dr. V? Tell me, why be a senator?
I don't know. The same thing with the Congress. So they're not going to make any original proposals in terms of appropriations, that sort of thing. So I don't know if we have a Congress right now. That's the problem. That
but the House is going to do what the House wants to do because they push it through. They got a majority. This is different. This isn't a matter of pushing it through. Think about this. They have a majority in the incoming Senate. Why do you need to go in recess? You got 53 votes. You can't lose, Dr. V. When you take a nominee, thank you, Mechanical Devil. When you take a nominee, you only need a majority vote. That's the rule in the Senate. So if you got 53 votes, why do you need to go on recess? Why, to make it faster? That's what it tells you. It makes no sense. You can pass it. You can pass
They don't want to have a
everybody.
discussion about some of these folks where the information comes out
Isn't that
that they're not
crazy?
qualified. That they're not qualified. That's the
But
thing.
that, yeah, but what does that say about the Senate? But they have not done it. But what does it say if they go on recess? It says they're not being senators. They're afraid because they can't lose the vote. Remember, they can't lose the vote, Dr. V. So
No.
they can vote along party lines and put 53 votes for every one of the nominees and win. It's not an issue. You
Well,
don't have to go on recess.
There's two
What?
senators that could go the other way, Mikowski and Collins. So,
That's why they would be afraid and would want
yeah,
to go
so
on
they can only have,
recess.
there's a buffer of one senator, two, if you count that the VP can cast a deciding vote. So they have a majority, but it's not an incredibly strong majority.
Damn it, we're coping. It's plenty of a majority, but the problem is Gates is a problem. I'm just saying. So if
Well,
he
yeah.
thinks he can get it through,
So
it's
it's
just
the
they can't.
three-dimensional chess that he's playing here. That he puts somebody up to get voted out, and then the Senate could say,
No, not to get vote. You're reading it wrong.
"Okay,
He. You know how I feel about Trump. Everybody here knows how I feel about Trump. Okay, it's all on the record. But he's our president. But what he does is he takes people are like chum to him. So he takes them, uses them, and then throws them out when they're in the way. And if Gates gets in the way, and there's all this talk, and who knows? But if there's heavy pushback in the Senate, maybe 5 or 6 senators, supposedly they're all upset about it. Then he says, well, I don't have to push. I can look like a good guy. I'll let him go. I'll put in somebody who's tough, who can do it, and then everybody else gets through. Then Hegseth gets through. Hegseth, our next defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, who I would watch on the weekend on
I know,
Fox. I
Fox
watch
and
him.
Friends."
I never liked him there. And this guy is going to be now look, they're talking, Dr. V, about this supposed sex abuse or attack to this woman. Why would Trump care about that? And number two, I don't see why he would be bummed. And number two, generally in law, if you get sued and it's a once in a lifetime, you're laughing about something, and it's a once in a lifetime type thing. If you got the money and they want to get money from you, you'll pay it to let the case go away. It's not unusual. So it's not like Pete Hegseth has 10 cases. So to have one case, this is a guy, he says his third wife. This is a guy, he gets sued once. It makes sense. It's easier to get rid of it, pay it, and go away from it because they did whatever they did. It's he did, she did, and he didn't want it to be on his record at Fox. Makes sense. So when they talk about, wow, I'm listening to him going on TV, well, he paid her. Well, of course he paid her. Who wouldn't? Most people would. Unless you got 50 of them, you're like Diddy or something, and you're in big trouble. It's a different ball game. So that makes sense. But he's just in there to chop things up. He's just in. Then you got Tulsi Gabbard, the director
Oh
of
my goodness!
national intelligence. I saw all this stuff on Russian TV, and she's in there, and they're going, we love you, the new director of intelligence. We in Russia love you. I'm going, oh my
Might as well
Lord.
just put Putin in there and save the middleman.
Uh, God, there's nothing wrong with putting all in there. We're not arguing about that. What we're saying is just because, and I'm going to get to this point, but you're making your point. It's not that they're not establishment. I don't mind non-establishment. The issue is, do you just throw somebody in who's going to drop a grenade in there and have no plan on what the next step is to replace what you're destroying? Or are you going to put somebody in there who's going to do it right, dismantle it with an option or an alternative that you've got there? That's the problem. He's putting in, I think that's what you commentators, thank you for commenting. I love you. Also, Dr. V, if you can, I've noticed we got a lot of people from other countries. I've been seeing it on there. I want to thank you all you guys from across the world. I hope we're helping. I hope we're helping. And if you guys have addiction issues over there, here's Dr. V, the #1 addiction guy, can talk to you. Doesn't matter if you're addicted in India or Britain or anywhere else, you're addicted. So he can always answer questions for you. Dr. V, Joe Talks, Just an American Citizen. Please go on. Give us thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please leave comments there. But no, this is the question. If you're just going to throw a grenade, what's the option? Dr. V, have you seen anybody put any answers in there about that?
Now people say, well, he won, he can do whatever he wants, and he's
Of
putting people
course he
in that
can.
are going to mix things up, outsiders, and I understand the rationale for that. It's
Right.
but you want to put competent people in there. You don't want to just put in somebody that was on your plane at the time you were thinking about making the appointment. You want to think about it. You want to put in the right people.
And somebody who's more competent than just blowing things up, because blowing things up are easy. We got a pretty good country here. That's what everybody's missing. Yeah, everybody's pissed. Yeah, we got our issues, but we still got a great country here. And you just drop a grenade here and a grenade there, and you got nothing to replace it with. Tell me what you're going to do if Matt Gaetz is going to come in and just sweep clean the Justice Department. Who is the new Justice Department? If Pete Hegseth is going to come in and just fire all the generals, do the generals now have to wear MAGA hats and come in and say, yes, we'll take a loyalty oath? These are real issues we have to talk about. And Trump's the president. We accept him as the president. I'm not fighting. But I'm going, what is he doing beyond blowing things up? And I look at our commentators here, Dr. V, who are smart. We love you, Eddie. We love you. We love all of you. Okay? And the bottom line is, give me what it is. What are you replacing it with? You're blowing up the Justice Department with the guy who you will not hire to represent you in a speeding ticket, Matt Gaetz. What are you going to replace the Justice Department with? You're bringing in Fox and Friends weekend on the Defense Department. What are you replacing that which he wants to destroy with? You're bringing in a Gabbard who is just loved by the Russians, Director of National Intelligence. What are you going to change it with? Tell me what you're going to do to make our country, which we all love and which you all know we love you. I don't care if you disagree with us. I'm happy you disagree with us. That's our First Amendment. That's why you guys are so great. But it doesn't mean you're right. So explain. Don't just hit me with destruction, destruction, destruction. Hit me with what is the answer. Go for it, Dr. V.
Yeah, so I see Debbie made a comment that she believes.
Debbie came in. I love you, Debbie. Debbie.
I have to give my thumbs up for Debbie, but she made a comment that the Justice Department is going to be replaced with honest people versus the, I guess, dishonest people that are in there now. And I'm not so sure about that. If you look at Matt Gaetz, his record is not so clean. For me, it's more like the inmates are in control of the asylum right now.
They're doing the cover up, aren't they? They're covering up this report that was going to come out of the House, Debbie.
What's honest about that?
If I'm Gaetz, I'm not quitting 2 days before. I'm saying, let me see the report. Let me put it out there. It's all BS. I'll take it on. But he won't do it, will he? Because he's a wimp. You know who he looks like? You know who I used to love? Beavis and Butthead. You guys ever watch Beavis and Butthead? He looks like Butthead. And I'm not just joking. I'm not talking the latest version of Beavis and Butthead. They look like old guys wiped out. And I'm not into anime, but I always love Beavis and Butthead because I love that old music they had in there. But he looks just like Butthead, and he sure acts like him. And would you want Butthead representing you next to in front of a judge when you got a speeding ticket? Look, you say people are honest, but yet he refuses to let people be vetted. He's hired some corporate vetters meaning people looking into them, and they had no idea that Hegseth paid this money to this lady. If the FBI did their normally got groups that do this, they would have known. It would have come out. Understand? You guys are missing me with Hegseth. He did it. He paid her. I understand. That's what you do. You get challenged, you get threatened. I mean, it never happened to me because look at this mug. Look at this mug. What chick would want this mug? I can't believe I'm still married, Dr. V.
Chicks are
Look
paying
at
you. What are
this.
you talking about?
Oh man, what are you talking? Look at this thing. So I don't. So I never have to worry about that issue. But Hag's intimate. Thinks he's a lover. He takes off his shirt, has pictures done and everything. So okay, but I can understand if a woman challenges him after he takes her up to the bedroom. I'll pay her. I understand why you pay her off if it happened once. Who wants to fight it? So I got nothing against exit for that. But what's he replacing? You're just going to fire everybody. What are you doing? Where's your Defense Department? Where's your national intelligence? Where is all this stuff? I'm like, to me, things like this. Oh, how about Kristi Noem as Homeland Security? The former governor in, was it North Dakota, who shot her dog. She's tough. She's tough. Kristi, no.
She gonna bring
Shot
her
her
goat
dog,
dog to
got a
Washington
facelift, did her teeth, and said, but I took that dog out because a year and a half, I was a tough dog, and kaboom. And she's going to be our head of national security. What is going on here? While
to
you're
protect
at
us
it,
from the dogs,
oh God, please, while
the
you're at it,
ferocious dogs.
woo, ferocious. Please give us a thumbs up. We give you guys a double thumbs up. Please go into Dr. V Joe Talks and into Just an American Citizen. Please subscribe to our channels, and please put in the comments. We love your comments. I'm a high lefty. Let me tell you, Rum, I bat lefty. I'm a righty. I throw it righty. I write righty. Okay, I bat lefty. I played lacrosse lefty, but I didn't throw lefty yet. Someone in my family was the exact opposite, who would throw lefty, right lefty, but bat righty. I was the opposite. We were opposites.
No, you
It was
have
like
to bat
crazy.
lefty. You're closer to first base.
Yeah, well, let me tell you how smart I am. I was not much of a ball player. I didn't play baseball. I played lacrosse and soccer and that stuff when I was a kid. When I was in Little League, I batted lefty. I'm going, and everybody's batting. They're running the right. They're batting right-handed, and they go right to first base. I'm sitting there. I go whack. I hit it down third base. I ran to third base. I figure everybody's righty going to first base. I'm lefty. I go to third base. I mean, whoa. I did Little League for a while after that. Yeah, I don't mind people coming off. Don't tell anybody about that. That's sad. I was embarrassed.
Sad,
I don't even. Ooh, it like ruined me running down third base on my first.
No,
and everybody's.
not
What
good.
am I going to do?
My
That's what
4-year-old
lefties
grandson
do.
knows better.
That's what lefties do.
He was
Either way, so
throwing
yeah,
his
that was my high
knuckle
left.
curve this morning. He was throwing a
What?
knuckle curve to me today. 4-year-old
God.
grandson knows all
Really?
about. Knuckle curve. He had the split finger fastball. I was
And you
teaching him.
throw it like, is it like
I
that with
was,
the
I
two
was teaching him a
fingers and
change up
something?
today.
Oh
They
man,
know what's
wow.
going on now.
That's because they break it all down. When we grew up, it was how fast can you throw the ball? Do you win? Is there an ERA? And it's like football is just so different now. But it's just, but we're looking at this. Let's get back to Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem is going to defend our borders because you know what she's going to do? She's going to get out. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. She's going to get out her gun that she shot the dog with, and she's going to get out the border and go, anybody come here, I got my gun, I'm going to shoot you because it's the gun I shot my dog with.
My ferocious dog. He was a mean dog.
He was a mean dog. That's why I had to get my face done afterwards and get my teeth done and show everybody how fake I look now. I mean, I love it. Either way, thank you for your thumbs up, please. We're always asking.
What is going on with Matt Gaetz's face? Tell me that. Something is off. His eyebrows are like way up in the.
I'm telling you, he's butthead. Look at Beavis and Butthead from the old days. Say what you want.
Something's not right.
Look, I'm not.
His face
I don't
doesn't
like.
move anymore.
Look at Butthead. I'm telling you, I sit there. I don't like Gates. I'm upfront about it. But if you just want to say who does he look like, look at the original Butthead from Beavis and Butthead, and then you're going to come back to me and go, I can't believe it.
I see the resemblance.
Looks like Butthead.
I see the resemblance. I see it.
Oh, either way. So you got that, and then you got RFK Jr.
Oh my God.
Now you're a doctor.
This
Now
is
look,
relevant to me. This is, you know,
I'm
I get
throwing it at you,
research
but let me
funds from
ask you a couple
NIH.
questions, Dr. V, because I'm throwing at you, but let me serve it out on a plate to you, and then I'll get to the comments, and I want you to play with it a bit, please. RFK Jr., he has some good ideas about food
Mhm.
and
Sure,
maybe how you beat obesity instead of pumping yourself with all those drugs they're showing on TV.
sure.
Ozempic and everything. If you eat better, you do it. If
Absolutely.
so I don't know, it doesn't work with everybody, but maybe that works better. But then, what is your plan to take care of all that? He appears to want to get rid of all vaccines. He appears to want to do all this kind of stuff. My worry is he is like the others. He's just going to take a hammer to it and just smash it because he has so many different groups underneath him. And then all of a sudden, instead of being like a surgeon and cutting where you got to cut, I'm a little bit worried. I'm throwing it out to you. I'm going to go on down here with comments while you're talking, Doctor.
Yeah, so
No comment. None.
let me be fair with RFK Jr.
Because, buddy, we had her.
He's
Now,
really
stop. I want you to
trying
hold
to
this.
bring
I want hold.
evidence
Dr. V.
into
Dr. V, hold
understanding
one
health.
second. Dr. V, hold one
Go
second.
ahead.
Buddy threw something out here. I want to
All
get
right.
something out straight to everybody. Okay, buddy. We used to have a whole lot watching up to the election. Since the election, everybody has shown a major drop in views. We're doing pretty good. We have our community that's been coming on. But if you look at all the channels, they're down big. Fox is up a little, but people are tired of watching all of it all the time. So you have less people coming on dealing with these issues. We still deal with it. I'll tell you this, I'm going to let Dr. V come back. I got a little tired of it also. So I go to Tubi and I watch The Rifleman. Did you know that Sam Peckinpah was a director of some of The Riflemen? Incredible. And when he did Sam Peckinpah, The Wild Bunch, one of the craziest movies of all time. If you want to see that, that's made years ago, decades ago, centuries ago. So, but I mean, that's where it is with that. So, yeah, we're going to have less people. We know it, but we're here, we're talking, we're going to build it back up. And thank you for coming on. Thank you. Now go with the Dr. V, RFK Jr., and the medical. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
just to follow up on that, many of my liberal friends are not
We like
watching
trying
news
to
at all. They've given up. They are off traveling. They're off doing other things. Or trying to cope with
You're right,
depression,
Mark.
all sorts of things. So they don't want to hear about politics right now. They need a break. And we're going to hang in there because we have fun with this, and we want to help hold people accountable. We want to check and balances in our system. To get back to our
Did you see Spartacus's question to you, Dr. V?
Is it possible RFK may have taken control of him? That is possible. Yes, there's some data to support that.
There really is,
Oh yeah, yeah. He's well, and
even if it's dead.
uh, you know, people watched The Last of Us, right? Wasn't that parasites in people's brains that took over their bodies? They became zombies.
Oh, that was The Last of Us.
The
That's
Last of Us,
zombies.
yeah. So
RFK's not a zombie.
he's not a zombie yet.
I don't think so. That
Oh,
voice is weird, but hey, more worm than man, Spartacus. I'm not into this guy.
Sparty. Yeah, it's hard to
This is the
disagree with
guy who picks.
Spartacus.
But what's he going to do, Dr. V? If you can think, I mean, it's such a big question, but if you can break it down to a small little chunk, what do you think he's going to do to I call it that blogosphere, that whole sphere of medicine under HHS? It's such a
Yeah.
big issue, but what do you think? Just what he's
So
going to try to do
here's
is going
here's
to
what I think
impact the
he thinks is
entire
going to do.
area. Go with it.
What
Go.
he believes, and there's some data to support this, that there's a conspiracy among big pharma and maybe even big agriculture to get people addicted, to get people dependent on drugs so that they can make a profit. And there's no one looking out for the best interests of people out there. And he points out data, which is accurate, that health in the United States is not very good compared to other industrial countries. I mean, you have, quote, blue areas in the world where people live
Big
healthy,
dog.
they exercise, they eat natural foods. Trust fund 70-year-old, yeah. So they,
Okay, go ahead.
there's areas of the world where people live healthy and live longer, and so that makes good sense. And the whole idea of behavioral factors affecting our overall health is an important one. That we cause many of the chronic diseases that we have with things like obesity. I think a report came out just this week that 75% of Americans are overweight. It's
But,
terrible.
but, but what's he going to do with the entire medical establishment, though? Because it isn't. Those are two important, right-on issues. My concern is there's hundreds of issues involved. Because I mean, what does HHS cover? It covers Social
Everything.
Security, essentially. It covers all
CDC,
this stuff. What's he going to do with his view? That's going to change. It's going to be a major change inside. That's what I'm wondering.
the
Go
one
ahead.
thing he says is that all funding for infectious disease is going to stop. That's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing. That and
Why?
when I was at Penn and being paid by the university, I made most of my money by getting grants from NIH, and he's going to disrupt that. And so I'm sure a lot of my friends who are researchers are really worried right now that
National
where
Institutes of Health. Go
yeah,
ahead.
there you go. NIH, National Institute of Health, that funds our academia, that funds our research, and we have done a great
You're
job in
right,
this
Charlie.
country of being creative
Thumbs
and
up to you.
making advances in medicine. And there are many advances that we've made. We really do have excellent strategies to help people with chronic diseases. And Kennedy does make a point that we haven't focused a lot of funding on preventing people from getting
But
sick.
what's he going to do to the overall? Is it going to affect mifepristone? Is it going to affect abortion? Is it going to affect just eating? Is it going to affect how's it going to affect Social Security? How's it going to affect Medicare? How's it?
So,
It's
yeah.
all these. That's what I'm asking. Not individually, but how, with the way he's looking at this, do you think it's going to really
I'll,
just
I'll,
shake up that whole medical
Yeah. So, and
thing
for
going on there?
NIH, when NIH puts out RFAs, it puts out research initiatives, and sends that out to scientists to say we're going to be interested in funding projects that address a particular issue. So that happened for AIDS, for example, and so everyone's grants were geared toward AIDS research. And so he's going to put pressure on the administrators of the various agencies to put out RFAs to look at certain areas that he believes should be addressed. So that's one thing. Number two, he's going to look at the FDA and put pressure on the regulatory agencies not to approve certain medicines unless they meet certain criteria in terms of being safe for people and not running the risk
Well,
of.
that
of
sounds okay. To be
yeah,
safe
so
for people, that sounds okay. But I'm with you. But I think, if I may, I think the problem is this again. I
go
think
ahead.
the problem is, so much of this stuff. You just start digging into these issues. I don't think of all these issues like you do. That's why I love having Dr. V. He smiles. It's the real. I don't look at all of it. I just look at it as an overall. I'm more of a macro. He's more of a micro. That's why he's so good with all this kind of stuff. And I just sit there. I go, hey, but I'll tell you. I just think it's another grenade again, Dr. V. I
Yeah.
just think we're going to be back into a situation where it's going to be this piece may make it, that piece may make it. I don't see an overall plan where this guy wants to come in and say, if I do this, I'm going to move money here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop this. If I stop this, how's it going to affect that? It's all just a matter of one thing affecting the other. What everybody forgets is you can't just separate, and it just is independent of everything else. So much is interrelated that
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
pull this out, especially in medicine, that if you pull this out, then this has a problem.
Right.
Yeah, we got to have real issues on how drugs are priced. No question. At the same time, you got to make sure that there's enough money, which I'm sure they will, for the drug companies to come up with the greatest drugs, because we got great medicine here in America. I mean, that's one thing everybody's
Innovation.
forgetting.
Innovation.
It's expensive, but we got the best medicine in the world. Why do people fly to America when they're really sick if they got the money? Because we got great medicine. And that's what you got to remember. When you're looking at RFK, and RFK's doing his thing, and he's sounding all cool with that gravel voice and everything, there's something there, whatever it is. Bottom line is, we have the greatest medicine in the world. The Saudis come to Baltimore, to Hopkins, to get their work done. These guys know where to go. They ain't cruising over to Germany. They ain't cruising to Canada. You got Canadians coming down here. So before you go and just shake up the entire medical system, You got to look at it and realize how good it is and say, there's a lot of bad we got to cut out of there. And there's a lot of junk we got to cut out of there. But what we've got is so good that if we really start whacking, we may end up making it more of a negative than a positive. And when you're talking people's health, that's a big issue if it's a negative for a while before it turns into a positive.
A lot of ill health is related to people's lifestyle, that people are too lazy to exercise, that people are too lazy to prepare food. They have to have it, it's already prepared, it's already, that they just stick it in a microwave, that people are looking for quick answers to things, that working at something helps you to be healthier, and people are not willing to do that. I'm not sure RFK is going to change that, or anything that we do is going to change that. It's a whole sort of lifestyle thing that we have to get people willing to work for their health, as opposed to just depend on other people, other agencies, medicine, take a pill or whatever to fix
But then the
something that's,
government's telling you what to do. And now you want is that why you hired Trump? For the government to tell you what to do, what to eat, how to eat it, how many calories you can ingest, how much you're going to pay in insurance because you may be obese and this and that. I'm not taking a position, but I'm saying these same people who voted for Trump because they wanted to change, and I'm with it. These are so many of their commentators is don't want government involved. But what you were talking about, Dr. V, is government getting heavily involved in our lives. Because if they're going to decide you're too obese, you haven't hit this number, and your insurance premium goes up if you're a Medicare or this or that, people are going to go crazy. They went crazy as it was when you tried to charge extra for seats on planes when people were a little bit wide.
right.
Right? They got mad about that. You don't think people are going to get mad about this over their health? Of course they are. So it's there's some real issues there, and it's just that's yes, we have to shake things up big time, but we got to sit there by the pillow guy. Here we go again.
There you go, the pillow guy. Can't go a session without the pillow guy thrown in there.
No, I'm not the pillow guy. I think I'm better looking than the pillow guy. I don't sell pillows.
Don't sound like it.
They have not sent them back to me from the stores to sell, and I see people drop as soon as we start talking pillow guy. Pillow guy, what a waste. I mean, should you sit there, you wonder about that. But we had to throw it out there. No, I'm not the pillow guy. Normally I put it in the description. I should do that again, Dr. V, so we don't have the problem there. But no, this is the problem I'm seeing with the entire approach of the Trump administration. And I find all this as a gas, by the way. I think this is a gas, Dr. V. I just love this guy.
I think you're right. If you look at the macro picture, there's a lot of anger, frustration, and pointing out things that are wrong, but not much in terms of how you're going to change things to make things better. And
Right.
you're right. We're really short on that. That it's okay to point out where things are not going well, not so okay to just say, I'm going to blow everything up and hopefully things come back stronger. That's the problem. I think Trump has written a big check, and we'll see if he can cash it. Hopefully he can, but I haven't seen the evidence that he's taken any concrete steps to really make things better. That's the problem. But I'm
Hey,
willing to be
Jay.
surprised. I'm willing to be
We
surprised.
love India. We love India. As we said before, what is it, Shreyas? We have a lot of people who watched us from around the world. We love you all. Hello, baby. We're more than glad to answer your questions. Let you see what it's like here in America. And if like accents are bad, let me throw you a couple things. I say Monday, it's called Baltimore accent. It's Monday, but it's Monday. If I say police, it's police. So understand we have different accents, but if you're not sure my words, just let me know. We're the O's, okay? You get the Philly stuff, I'll just start talking cheesesteak, game's over. So
Water.
it's like it's crazy.
Give me a glass of water.
So thank you. We love you watching. We'll give you a shout out every time. Please give us thumbs up. Please subscribe to Dr. V, Joe Talks, and please subscribe to Just an American Citizen. And always feel free to put comments on there. But yeah, that's my concern, Dr. V. We have people just looking to blow things up, thinking we won, therefore we're going to blow things up. therefore that's the answer, and then it isn't the answer. So it works partially, but it's like Elon Musk admitted that when he said what he wanted to do with the government to cut the efficiency or to cut the budget, which would be like $2 trillion worth, he said he could cut out of the budget. He and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to do this. He admitted it's going to be at least 2 years of super pain. Isn't that great? Well, when you're the richest man in the world, there ain't no such thing as super pain except physical. Money ain't a problem. But if it's like, hey, and Elon Musk is saying to everybody, listen to Elon Musk, guys. Elon Musk says that if we do what he wants to do, and it looks like Trump's going to do it, the Bureau of National Efficiency or something, it's going to be much pain for the first 2 years. That's going to be really great, isn't it?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think that people are still feeling pain from the pandemic. And part of why Trump won, and part of why there's so much anger in this country, is that people who are not well off suffered the most from the pandemic, and particularly males. I think that needs to be discussed as well. That particularly industrial jobs, things that make males feel pretty good about themselves, are vanishing.
Ronald, this is a great country.
From a cultural perspective, and it's true from an economic perspective, that males are feeling really angry and really upset, and they want to go back to a time where fathers knows best, not
Robert Young. Forget father knows best. Go back to Marcus Welby. He was better as Marcus Welby. He was a real doctor.
If you look at medical schools now, there are more females graduating medical schools.
Kamala lost because she
so we're really
wasn't going to win. It was much more than Gaza. Go ahead.
So males are upset. Males are trying to figure out what their role is, and Trump comes along, and I think this is true in other countries as well. Someone who comes along who's a strong leader that males can relate to, and that's why they're getting the votes. Trump was MMA last night and got Jones's belt and all that, and people were crying, and so thankful. Say we finally have some leaders in this country now. That's what we're missing. That we want more testosterone, not just the estrogen in the country, and I think that's one of the things that people are relating to.
I'm with it. Rob, we're going to keep drilling for oil. We always have. That was Standard Oil. You fill up your car, but we're going over to electric eventually because it's more than electric. It's solar. All that power coming from the sun. We're going to find a way, because I've been yelling about this. Please go and Just American Citizens, subscribe. Look at some of my old long videos. I talked about this years ago. The key to solar is we got to get better batteries. Everybody's sitting out there. It's like, just think, if you can fill up your car, but gas keeps coming out, you ain't going too far. You got to have a real battery. You have to have smaller batteries. We have to find a way to take that power from the sun. Look at the trees. Look at the grass. Look at us. It's the sun that's the power. We should be able to take that power, put it in a battery type situation, energy conservation type of thing, and put it in there. It doesn't have to be large. You can run homes off of it if done correctly. You don't need the big power systems out in the world, these big solar systems that are going to get blown up with some terrorist is going to come in. You know how they have like thousands of solar panels out in the desert? Some schmo's going to come in and do something there, Dr. V. You don't want to be in that position. You need power for like these data centers, but to be able to be self-contained, to be able to take that power from the sun and be able to put it into a battery.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. JHD says doesn't have enough testosterone to grow hair. I have to correct him. On that. It's testosterone that you lose hair. This is testosterone up here.
That man's got testosterone.
So get your medical facts straight.
Right on, Dr. V.
Lose hair.
There it is. There you go.
That's male baldness, not female baldness. This is testosterone, guys. I'm sorry.
You're telling him, baby.
Go back. You can go back. JDH, you got your facts wrong. I want to see your head of hair. You have a full head of hair, JDH? Probably full of estrogen yourself.
Let me see his picture. Ronald, listen, what you're missing is this. The issue isn't that the sun isn't out all the time in the north. If you have batteries that can take that power when it's on all day, these batteries should be able to hold power for 2, 3, 4 days a week at a time to be able to power the house. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about these little things you stick in a remote and it lasts for like 10 minutes. That's what we're talking about. And that's what we got to find. And that's where the money should go. Because if you could put that much power in your hands and be independent, also think what we could do defense-wise. It's all there. You don't need the sun to shine all the time. You don't need, I'm not a wind power fan. You don't need the wind. I mean, you do wind, but you don't need the sun, because if you got power in small batteries, you're a rocket. Oh, man, let me tell you. Joe B, you may have a point, because if we put him up there, Dr. V, I don't know if you're all seeing, you use that head part, that testosterone part, to reflect the sun. Just think of all the data centers we could power off of that.
Power my electric car.
I
got
say right on.
Not a Tesla, not one a Musk electric car. I got a real electric car from BMW.
Dave, I don't know what you're talking about. You got two guys happily married, great families. We have no complaints. I hope everything's good for you. Well, right. We hope everything's good for you, Dave C. Right on. Don't worry. What do you mean, Boomer? Entitled, we work like dogs, JHD. I don't know what you're talking about. Entitled, I worked my whole life. Dr. V worked his whole life. What are you talking about?
In college.
Boomer leeches. We raised kids. Were you one of the kids that we raised? I'll bet you're just bummed that you're not having money left to you or something. I gotta assume that's why they're mad. They don't have a rich grandfather, Dr. V. I don't know. I didn't either. But I don't know. It is what it is. But I mean, I don't want to hear Boomer. We did our thing. We worked hard. We took care of the kids. We raised them. We have a good country. Living good. I don't want to hear it. Good Boomers. And let me tell you this. We had great music. Great music. So,
oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, so there's just so much to listen to there. Like, even if you want to hear just original original punk, God Save the Queen. And want to be anarchy from the Sex Pistols. You want to get crazy and working? Go there. That's not like Pink Floyd where you'll fall asleep as soon as it comes on. You want to turn it down. That's how you go to Sex Pistols. Don't do it, Pink Floyd.
David Gilmour. Listen to him.
I have nothing to listen to. It's horrible. Come on.
The best guitar solo of all time. Comfortably Numb. Are you kidding me? This is great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, JHD, that was me directly. We drove the XOU into a death spiral. I don't know. It's been a death spiral as long as I can remember. I remember with Bill Clinton, it wasn't. It was the balanced budget. That was the Boomers. Am I missing something here? It was Trump who came in. It was Trump who came in and had to be the big bounce on the big bounce of
things so bad for people. This is.
I'm telling you, they're mad.
They're mad because in the pandemic there was inflation, but guess what? My Social Security went up. The value of my house went up. My stocks went up. I didn't suffer during the pandemic, but people who didn't have stuff suffered during the pandemic, and
sure they
people,
did.
the middle class and poorer folks, suffered during the pandemic, and it's true. Inflation hurt poor people.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. I've had it with all that. I'm going back to what the answer is as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sorry. Moaning, groaning. Everybody's a victim in this country. Everybody's crying. We got to deal. I got to deal with food inflation. You do. Everybody does. We deal with it. What we've got to start doing, I've had it, is start looking at each other as Americans and quit separating ourselves. You got it good. You got it bad. You're this, you're that. You go out and you do what I tell you. You put on your Ravens sweatshirt. You go to a Ravens bar today and you see with everybody, first, we'll want the Steelers to lose. That, of course, is the most important issue. But then you sit and you talk with everybody and you'll all be cheering for the Ravens together. And nobody's going to ask, are you a Trumper? Nobody's going to ask, are you left or lib? Nobody's going to ask that. They're all going to say, you're a Ravens fan. And you get to sit and talk with people. and jive with people. It's like the Eagles. Go Eagles, go. I mean, I'm sorry, fly Eagles,
Fly,
fly.
Eagles,
That,
fly.
that's what it is. And when you do that, when I go to the Eagle game, I talk to Eagle fans. I got my Ravens thing on. I'm very quiet. I don't want to get whacked. I know what they did to Santa so many years ago, so I try to keep my head down. But
No, just don't be a Dallas fan and wear your Dallas colors. That
I'll
all
never
bets
do
are
that.
off
I'm
then.
not a Dallas fan.
My
So,
my
but the
6-year-old
people,
grandson got
oh God,
got these football cards and this little thing with a locker. And one of the lockers he got was of a Dallas player, and so we ran over the locker with the car, and we threw the Dallas player out the window.
good, good.
Dallas sucks.
Right, that's good. Let me tell you, Joe B, it's they who cares what people say? Oh, the Lions, maybe we beat you last
Lions
year,
are
Jay,
good.
but we'll
Lions are
see.
good.
Lions look tough, but that's what's so great about it. You can sit here; it doesn't matter if you're left wing, right wing, middle wing, or you're flying to the sun and the wax is going to burn off and you're going to die. Bottom line is simple. People can talk with one another. And that's how we have to start looking at one another. Everybody is different here. It can't go here. It can't. I'm tired of it.
But
Go on to Just an American Citizen. I had so many long form videos saying we should be Americans. We're Americans. I'm sick and tired of being a something American or a this American or a that American. You're an American because that's what's so great about what we have going on here. And that's why we're so great. And that's where it is. Either way, I got to throw that out there. Jumping jack flashes and gas though. And I'll tell you this, you want to know what the definition of a man is? Watch Lucas McCain on The Rifleman. He lays it out to Mark all the time. A man admits his mistakes. A man is nice to people. A man is courteous. A man stands up. A man puts up with a little bit of stuff but deals with it. But a man is moral and a man loves and a man can be tough. The only other thing about The Rifleman is, man, people die on there. And it's like they just throw him in the back of the coach and they bring him in. They go, dead man. I'm going, wow. I mean, it is crazy. I love The Rifleman. I mean, it's crazy. We grew up with so many guns on TV, Dr. V. It's everybody died. Either way, please give us thumbs up. Please go to Just American Citizen and subscribe and comment. Please go into Dr. V, Joe Talks, and subscribe. And when you go on and subscribe, say, please put some videos on here, Dr. V. And then you'll get it done. And that's where it is. Jay, people are going to talk. They talk when you get together. Some people have to do it. It maybe not all will. I go out, I walk the dog, I'm walking around. People walk by you. They don't say hi. I say hi to people. What's so hard with saying hi to people? What's so hard with giving a smile? That's all part of what we're talking about. So it's great comments here. But that's the bottom line, Dr.
Frampton Live. There's a good one. Frampton.
Wow, 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 wow. That was it. That was it. Oh, wow, he had that thing in his mouth. Wow, wow, wow,
JFK
wow, wow, wow. Let me
JFK
tell you,
State, big concert.
if I may, I like Peter Frampton when it was Peter Frampton Camel. And I had that album, the two albums when he was Peter Frampton Camel. That was before he got big time with wow, 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 wow. He's lucky he didn't get stuck in his throat, but it worked. He sold a zillion albums. So I say,
Great
right
guitar.
on.
Great guitar.
I say right on to that. But this is where we are. Let me just get back. This is how I want to end it. We have to, it's not, that's why I use the Ravens as an example, or the Orioles. How hard is it to sit with fans of the team you love and just jive with them and nothing else has to come up? And that's how you start reaching across. You're not doing it on purpose. I listen to these politicians and all these consultants paid all this money. We don't get paid anything. We put it out there for free and we're right. Because you sit there, what are we going to say? This group and this group was bad. This group I ain't worried about groups. I'm worried about Americans. And if you sit down and you talk to them, most of them have the same concerns. Most of them have the same loves. Most of them have the same thoughts. Most of them want to go where you want to go. And then you can shake their hand. You have a beer with them and you're on. Well, I have a Diet Coke, but you're on and you have the next thing. And that's That's what we've got to do. And that's what we are dedicating our focus to on this channel as we go forward. And we always have, because we are Americans. And that's what brings us together. No more of this something American. We are an American something. I'm just an American who ain't good looking. It's just that simple. That's an American with major testosterone on his head. It's that, and we're going to use that for our solar panels to generate energy when we have these small batteries so we can kind of think. But that's where we're going with this. And we know, somebody said it earlier, yeah, there's going to be less people in here, but that's what's so great about this, because it's changing. Now we're dealing with the people who want to look forward as we're going forward. It's not a matter of hate. It's not a matter of dislike. I love all of you on here. I really do. And I appreciate everybody coming on, talking to us, letting us know what you think, whether we disagree with you or not. Dr. V, what do you have to say before we roll?
Yeah, it's okay to be angry. I understand that. But we need to find real solutions now. And hopefully, using this forum, we can discuss some ways to actually come up with some real solutions. It's not enough just to blow things up. We need to look at and seriously look at what the problems are and figure out how we can deal with them. And we can do that together. You're absolutely right. We do it together as Americans with the goal of improving the country and improving the lives of everyone who lives here. Not just blaming other people, not just being a victim, but working together to roll up our sleeves and actually solve issues. So that's
Right
where I'm
on.
from.
And man, I do dominate the conversation. Dr. V doesn't have a problem with it. Tell him, Dr. V,
I
this is
don't
just
know.
how this is just how it works. This is
That's how it works.
53 years. Say it, Dr. V. This is 53 years. What he does is he lets me get crazy. And then all of a sudden I feel the rain starting to get poured in. And then I know Dr. V's got to do his thing. That's why we love each other. We go back so many years. PBs all the way. You kidding? Pretty much what I say, he agrees with. Pretty much what he says, I agree with. Sometimes we go at it just for the hell of it. He has no taste in rock music when it comes to Pink Floyd. I just can't
Not
deal
at
with
all.
that.
No,
But absent that, man, that's where we are. And you see, this is how people get along. It doesn't matter. You kind of do what you want to do. And
exactly.
what the hell, right? I mean, it's tremendous. And I'll tell you this, I don't joke. This is the man right there. This guy, you want to know about addiction, is the man. You really want to learn about this stuff, go onto his site, ask him questions, see, it's a major issue out there. And he'll talk to you. He'll just, we're not talking about charging you or anything. You got thoughts, general thoughts and ideas. He's not your doctor, but he can give you thoughts and ideas and do things. Dr. V, why don't you put some of your interviews up on your channel?
I'm going to do that. Yeah, let me do that.
Why don't
I
you
did a
do
couple
that?
interviews this week, so I'll put them
Why
up.
aren't they on your channel?
I need some IT guy to help me.
Just tell them how to do it. It ain't hard. If they're telling you how to do the interview, say, now put it on my channel. You
Yeah,
make it part of the deal.
I
You
know.
need a good lawyer, I'll help you.
I need.
But I'll tell you, you just tell them this is it. It's not hard. They can do it. It's a 2-second thing. It goes, gone. Either way, that's where we are. We love you guys.
It's
No
to my
pillows
liberal
here.
friends.
Excuse me.
It's not the end of the world. Smile.
Not
Enjoy
yet.
life.
Well, the storm is coming, though. That's what I titled this. The storm is coming.
Storm is
We'll,
coming.
we'll,
But
we'll see
we'll
y'all.
deal with it. We've been around long enough that things go in waves. Things go up and down. There's
Oh,
cycles. There's cycles, and there's some fun. There's joy in fighting big challenges and working hard, and take advantage of that. We'll have
Okay.
some fun with all this.
Oh, sure we are. Just so you'll know, I saw McJay, I saw Metallica 7 times. Most with my wife. However, I also saw him with the Cult and saw him trying to sneak every other team, every other group I saw him with. Incredible. I just love them. Neil Young, Metallica's rocked all those years. The Kill 'Em All, the first album. I used to work out to that, man, and it's just working all the way through. My favorite Metallica is Justice and Justice for All. So you're talking to a Metallica man. We love rock here. We love it. And of course, one of the original albums, while we're talking of all time, if you want to hear one of the original metal albums that most people don't listen to, it's called In Rock by Deep Purple. Came out, I think it was 11th grade.
Oh
It
yeah,
was like
yeah, good stuff.
1969. So listen
Good
to it.
stuff.
And then listen to Child in Time. You got Richie Blackmore going crazy on the guitar. You got Ian Gillan screaming, his
Oh
lungs are
yeah,
spitting out of
great.
his throat. I've never seen anything like
It
it.
was great.
Get that album. Oh, either way, play it, and then come on, you'll be all worked up to see it.
Smoke on the water. You can warm up with Smoke on the Water, and then you can go into the deeper stuff.
That was, what was that album? That was that was her #1 album. I'm trying to remember. That was the why am I having a problem with Smoke on the Water? I don't remember the name of the water. The album was, but I just loved it in rock. But I'm with you. I just love Deep Purple. So that's where we are. We love you guys. Thank you all so much. Please give us thumbs up. We're on every Sunday. I always throw the posts up. We're on up every Sunday at 11 a.m. I may be jumping in during the week. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure. I mean, just want to talk for a half hour. We'll see if Dr. V gets away from saving people and can join us. But that's where we are. We love you guys. Thank you all so very much. Please subscribe. Dr. V, Joe Talks. Please subscribe. Just an American Citizen. That's me. And please love America. And thank you all for watching us. And go Ravens, fly Eagles, fly, and whatever your teams. As long as you're not Steeler fans, and who are the Eagles playing?
Dallas sucks.
And the Cowboys, we love you. Except for those fans, we love you all too, but we want your team to lose. And that's the way it is. Period. Thanks again. See you later.